Insta360 Luna Ultra versus the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Which one would I choose? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Today we are doing a comparison between the Insta360 Luna Ultra and the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I just want to point out that this video is actually not sponsored by either of these cameras. This is mostly because of the request that people had to do a comparison between these two cameras. And then I believe my Osmo Pocket 4 should be here in a couple of weeks. So that comparison between the Insta360 Luna Ultra will be coming down the road. So I took these cameras to my 4th of July holiday weekend with my family. It was filled with being out at Malcolm's farm, being on the lake, the pontoon, lighting fireworks. So I really put these two cameras to the test when it came to stabilization, low light situations, all the things.
I won't ever grow old, I'm just gonna be young forever.
This isn't going to be a crazy in-depth comparison because a lot of you already know the specs and everything for the Osmo Pocket 3 from the other videos that I've done. And I also have a recently done video that covers all of the specs and all of that about the Luna Ultra. So this is just more of my preference, my honest thoughts about the comparison of the footage, the sound quality, the stabilization, all of those kind of things. And I will probably do a more spec-heavy video when it comes to the Osmo Pocket 4. So without further ado, let's get into it. And real quick, before we get into the comparison, I just want to thank Moft for sponsoring this portion of today's video, because I have actually been using their dynamic folio case all weekend long while filming this comparison. Between swapping cameras all weekend, this is one of the things that kept me organized without adding any weight to my bag. It folds into this in one motion, no separate stand, nothing extra to pack. This dynamic folio case can fold into 20 different angles. I'll use this angle to sketch out my shots or check my shot list before I start filming. Then for reviewing footage, I'll just refold it into this angle, and it also fits perfectly on my lap. This dynamic folio has really become an intricate part of keeping myself organized, whether I'm traveling or working in my home office. So thank you again to Moft. I will place my affiliate link in the description below. Feel free to check that out. The first thing I'm going to talk about is just the size. Obviously, when you put these cameras side by side, the Insta360 Luna Ultra is bigger. But to my surprise, I actually liked that. I mentioned this in my Luna video. Once I got my hands on the Luna Ultra, this almost felt a little too dainty. So I will be anxious to get the Osmo Pocket 4 in my hand and see if I still feel that way. But overall, there's not a huge difference in size or weight between these two cameras. So I don't really think that size would be a make or break for me to choose one over the other. Next thing I will talk about is the stabilization and the tracking for each of these cameras. I used the stabilization and the tracking multiple times throughout the weekend. I also used it when we were doing fireworks and parachutes. You know, we're all adults in our 30s and we're still chasing after parachutes. And then what really impressed me was towards the end of the weekend when I had both of the cameras on the tripod and I had it on the pontoon. And it was a fairly windy day, so the boat was going up and down and the footage from both cameras looks really great. And I think for the tracking, both cameras did a really great job at tracking my movements. The only thing that I will say, the Luna Ultra, it takes just the tap of a button and then it asks you, do you want to start tracking? And you just hit start. The Pocket 3, I felt like there was just an additional step or two to actually start the tracking. Even when I was doing the face detection, I would go into and say that, okay, I wanted to start like detecting my face. And a couple of the times it actually took a few seconds to start tracking me, where the Insta360 was almost immediate as soon as I hit start. So I did notice that slight difference when using the tracking feature multiple times throughout the weekend. For stabilization and tracking, the winner is the Luna Ultra. Both cameras do a great job, but I did find the Luna to be a little bit smoother overall. And I just also prefer how quick it is to access the tracking features on the Luna Ultra. Next, we are going to talk about the audio. And I did some testing while I was out on the pontoon on the lake. It was a fairly windy day, so let's go hear those comparisons. Okay, so we are gonna do a nice little audio sound test for both of these cameras. They both obviously have on-camera microphones. They also come with their own lavalier microphones, which we will test. This one is the Insta360 Luna Ultra, and this one is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. So next, I am going to turn both of the lavalier microphones that these two cameras come with on, and we are going to test that out. I think I'm going to take our little fuzzies off first and see how that sounds, and then I will put the fuzzies on and we'll test that audio as well. Okay, so this is the lav mic that the Insta360 Luna Ultra comes with, and this is the lav mic for the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. So this is what the Insta360 Luna Ultra microphone sounds like with our little rabbit head on top here. And this is what the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 lavalier microphone sounds like with our little rabbit head on here. I've attached each of the microphones so it's not right up next to my lips here. And we'll see how this sounds. Woo-wee! It is a gorgy day out here. For audio, I'm giving this one to the Luna Ultra. The built-in microphones on both the cameras sound pretty similar, and even with the wireless mic, I don't feel like there's a huge difference. But the Luna pulls ahead thanks to its detachable screen and included wireless microphone, which makes the whole setup a lot more versatile. Next, let's talk about the zoom and the telephoto quality. I will admit, I think Insta360 takes the cake in this scenario, because if you want to zoom in more than 2 times on the Osmo Pocket 3, you have to go down in resolution. I just think the Luna Ultra takes the cake in this scenario, because you can do up to 3 times true optical on the Luna, up to 6 times lossless, and then up to 12 times with the digital zoom. So for the DJI, I mean, once you go beyond 2 times, you're giving up that resolution. Zoom and telephoto, Insta360 takes the cake. How many times did I just say take the cake? Okay, next is actually one of the features that I was the most excited to compare between these 2 cameras, and that is, how does the camera perform in low light situations? So I thought the fireworks that my family was going to be lighting off all weekend was going to be the perfect scenario to test these 2 out. And I was actually pretty surprised at what the results were. The DJI Osmo Pocket 3, their low light mode is just literally called low light, and the Insta360 Luna Ultra is called pure video mode. Here is what I think is the biggest difference in both of these cameras when it comes to their low light modes. The DJI Osmo Pocket 3 was definitely sharper, just within the, flames and sparks going across the camera to the tree line that was behind us. Everything felt a little sharper, but it was definitely more grainier. So for the Insta360 Luna Ultra, that one was a little softer. It definitely wasn't as sharp of an image, but it was also less grainy. That just, it really all depends on what your preferences are, but all in all, both of these cameras do a great job in low light conditions. I'm giving the win to the Osmo Pocket 3. Both cameras are very usable after the sun goes down, but I do prefer the Pocket 3's color. It looks a little more natural and true to what I was actually seeing. Next is color profiles. Both cameras give you several color profile options depending on how you like to shoot. If you just want footage that's ready to use right out of camera, both offer a standard profile. If you want a little bit more dynamic range without doing much color grading, DJI has HLG, while Insta360 has Dolby Vision. And if you plan on color grading your footage, both cameras also include a log profile, giving you the most flexibility in post. And for this comparison, I applied each camera's official conversion LUT to the log footage. So you're seeing both cameras after a proper log to Rec 709 conversion. Last thing I want to do is I'm just going to answer some of the frequently asked questions that I got in the comment section. And the first question being, is the Luna Ultra waterproof? It is not waterproof, it is water resistant. And DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is not, I don't even think they categorize it as water resistant. Okay, the next question that I got the most was the battery life. Most days I would say that started off strong with 100% in the morning and probably ended somewhere between that 15 to 20% range by the end of the day. For battery life, I would say it was pretty equal. There was a couple of questions about the camera overheating. And yeah, you can tell that, you know, the cameras themselves are maybe warmer than they would be if it wasn't 90 degrees outside, but I never got any warnings or anything like that that the camera was too hot or that it was overheating. And I am just going to say this because I know somebody is going to ask, or multiple people might come at me in the comments, but why even do a comparison between the Osmo Pocket 3 and the Luna Ultra? You should be comparing the Osmo Pocket 4. Well, my Osmo Pocket 4 will be here soon, but it wasn't available at the time of filming this video. And I will say that the Osmo Pocket 3 is still a super popular camera. A lot of people already own one. So I just wanted to do this comparison if people were thinking of, you know, truly just making a switch from one camera to the next, or if when the Osmo Pocket 4 video comes out, if they want to stick with the DJI family and go to the OP4 instead of, you know, making a switch to the Luna Ultra. I did also want to mention, because it is one of my most frequently asked questions in the comments, what editing software do I use? What LUTs do I use? What is my editing process? All of that kind of stuff. I have been working in Adobe Premiere Pro, I kid you not, for 15 plus years. This is how I edit every single one of my videos, whether it's a YouTube video, an Instagram reel, anything. And Adobe has been coming out with so many amazing AI features that just help and work seamlessly with my workflow and help make my workflow a little bit smoother. And the thing that I love the most about using the Adobe family is that it is that. It is a family, it is an ecosystem. Everything works and is intertwined with one another. That is one of the best features, hands down. I am actually in the process right now of creating a course that goes through anything and everything that has to do with editing. My workflow, where I get my music, sound design, color correction, color grading, LUTs, all of that good stuff. So if that is something that you are interested in, feel free to sign up for my newsletter, and there's gonna be some discounts and promos and everything for people who sign up early. So feel free to check that out, and I'd love to see you in there. The verdict. This is strictly between the Osmo Pocket 3 and the Luna Ultra. If you are happy with the Osmo Pocket 3, if it does the job, if you have DJI microphones, if you have all of these DJI things and they communicate seamlessly and its ecosystem works well and all of that kind of stuff, I don't know if it is necessary to do the upgrade. But I will say, it definitely is an upgrade. The Luna Ultra has a lot of features that the Osmo Pocket 3 doesn't have. I think it does quite a few things better than the Osmo Pocket 3. The number one feature for me on the Luna is this thing, the detachable screen. The fact that I do not have to have my phone with me, I can just simply take this thing off and frame up my shot, and being able to do that without having to have an extra gadget in my hand is just super nice. That in itself could be worth the upgrade, but it really does have to do with your personal preference. So I hope that answers your question. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, maybe hit that little bell so that you can be notified when my new videos come out. Don't forget to check out the Moft link in the description below. As always, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Boop.